Hello everybody and welcome to Stories by Kev. Today I'm starting one of my longer stories. I've split it up into 3 parts. Might go with 4, not sure right now. This is the second story I ever had published and it's called Saved by the Bones. I hope you like it. So here we go. Frankie weighed the dice in her hand, wondering why she'd kept them. Just for luck? Not likely. They'd given up their luck in one shot the night Henry won $200,000 at craps. The casino gave him the dice. Didn't want them. Said they were lucky for him, not them. Maybe they knew Henry would hand back all that money he won that night, and more. None of it mattered now. Henry was dead and Frankie was broke. She looked at the dice, held in a delicate cage of gold and attached to a silver chain. Henry had this tribute to his one great night made up special. She tossed the dice in with everything else and closed the suitcase. Frankie met Henry when she worked as a dancer at the casino, where he made his lucky strike. Most guys only stopped by her area when they needed to clear their minds before going in for another round. Henry seemed different from the others. He never had that desperate look they all got, and he only ever stared at her naked the first time they locked eyes. He was a real gentleman, found her after her shift that night, and swept her away to a dream world that included 2 kids, now grown, and life straight out of some magazine. For all those years, the Boise Park Casino served as Henry's second home. Frankie never gave that a second thought. Henry had a good job, and they wanted for nothing. Not that she was ever aware. When Henry passed, Frankie discovered that ignorance is only bliss until the school of hard knocks arrives at your front door. In Frankie's case, the principal of that particular school came dressed as a collection sheriff. His lesson plan included Repossession 101. When Frankie finally learned all of Henry's secrets, she had less than $1,000 to her name and the suitcase in front of her, ready for one last goodbye to the home she thought she would live in forever. Her go-forward plan was simple: off to Vegas to get back what Henry had lost. Though she disliked gambling, she knew more about it than most people. Before meeting Henry, she worked at the casino as a blackjack dealer. Frankie was good at cards, better than she ever let Henry find out. She could count 6 decks and knew when her patrons' luck would run out. She smiled through their excitement as they rode a winning streak, knew when their train would hit the station. When she first became a dealer, that knowing gave her a thrill. As she saw more faces turn to despair she could have prevented, she knew she had to get out. That's when she hit on dancing. The money was better, and she still worked at the casino. She liked the action there. She thought of how much she liked it as she closed her former front door behind herself for the last time. Maybe her current situation came as divine retribution for all the lives she could have kept out of the poorhouse. She walked to a waiting cab and never looked back. At the airport, Frankie wandered and tried to get her head around what needed to happen next. It had been years since she counted a card, and even when she did, it wasn't in Vegas. Henry enjoyed being a big fish in a small pond. In Vegas, he felt like a minnow. They'd only ever been there twice. Her flight left on time and landed at McCarran International on time. The 90 minutes that intervened proved just enough for Frankie to find her old counting vibe. When she found the baggage conveyor, most of the passengers on her flight had left already. Off to the land of what happens here stays here. Picking up her bag, she tried to find someone that would point to a cab. She found a ride before she could find help and was on her way to the Four Queens within an hour of arriving. On the way there, she looked out the cab window at streets alive with humanity. Her former passion for pulling uncertainty out of the shadows started to stir, and she enjoyed it in silence. Her driver tried to get a conversation going, but gave up when her gaze didn't leave the window. When she stepped out at the hotel, the unreality of it all hit her. You do what you have to do, that's what she thought. She never bargained she would have to do this. Somewhere in the back of her mind, a seed of doubt tried to take hold. She knew her future depended on what she pulled off in the casino. She walked up to the hotel reception. "And how will you be paying for your room, Miss Watson?" The concierge scanned her registration slip. "Cash, thank you." "Cash will be fine." The young man paused, well rehearsed on what he said next. "I'll just need to see some identification. Driver's license or credit card will work just fine. If you'd like to stay more than one night, we can use your card to hold the charges for the checkout. That way you won't need to come down every day to keep your room." Frankie pulled out her driver's license. She had no credit cards left, none that still worked anyway. "No, thank you. I prefer to pay in cash, and I don't mind coming down here for a visit." The clerk smiled, thought he was hearing another pass from some older woman, ready to leave a lot of secrets in the desert sand. "Of course, Miss Watson. That'll be fine. Let me program your key, and we'll get you into your room." "Thank you." She scanned his name tag. "Jeremy." He smiled and handed her a key. "Would you like help with your bag?" "No, thanks. I can handle it myself. If you steer me in the right direction, I think I can take it from here. Elevators are right over there," he pointed. "When you get off on the 7th floor, go right, and your room is just a few doors down." "Thank you, Jeremy." When Frankie got to her room, she put down her suitcase and purse, then flopped down on the bed. She stared up at the ceiling and listened to muffled sounds coming from outside. Her hotel stood right next to Fremont Street, and a band was playing on a corner close by. After listening for a while, she got up and looked out the balcony door. When she slid it open, sound poured in, no longer held back by the glass. She stepped out onto her balcony and looked down. There was a wall right across from her room and a set of golden arches right below that. She was farther from Boise now than she'd ever been. She relaxed on the bed, letting numbers play in her mind as it got limber again after so many years of vacation. Frankie fell asleep shortly after, lying down, and woke up to find sunlight replaced by the glow of neon. She looked at her watch. It was just past 6:30. It wasn't late, not too late anyway. Before she went out, she grabbed Henry's dice and put them on. If it had any luck left for him, she hoped it would still hold some for her. And that's where I'm going to leave it for now. And hopefully stay tuned. Come see us next week. And why not subscribe while you're here? Okay. See you later. Bye for now.